Hey folks, this is another video on my EV conversion project on my 2015 Harley Davidson CVO Street Glide. So one of the things that happened when I pulled the engine out of this motorcycle, I also had to remove the engine control module, which is called the ECM. Obviously, the motorcycle didn't like that. I was getting a lot of check engine lights. Basically, all of the other modules were saying it couldn't see the ECM. So I had to do some reverse engineering before I actually took the engine and the ECM out of the bike. And what I did was that reverse engineering. So now I have something called an EVCM, and it's this little device right here. It's an ESP32 that I have plugged into the CAN bus of the motorcycle. It's got some I/O pins in service for other things. And basically what it's doing is it's making the motorcycle think the ECM is plugged in. And the way it's doing that is it broadcasts the VIN on the network on a frequency that the ECM used to, and all of the other modules like the ABS module and the instrument cluster module and the radio module, they all say, oh, okay, I can see the ECM, so I'm happy. Furthermore, there's other information that the ECM used to broadcast to the instrument cluster would be the RPM, the speed of the motorcycle, information on the displays as far as like high temperature and what gear you're in and those sort of things. So I have this module also doing those things. So, all right, so the question is, where does he get this information? So for the speedometer, this EVCM is reading the rotation rate of the rear wheel from the ABS module, and then it's converting that rotation rate to miles per hour. So that's how I get speed. And for the RPM, it is the two VESC controllers down here that are driving the motor. Each one of them is hooked up to the CAN bus also, and they're on broadcast mode, so they're at the same frequency as the Harley Davidson CAN bus, which is 500 kilobits per second. And that broadcast information is being read by the EVCM. And so, for example, the ERPM is being converted to the message that would normally be broadcast to the RPM gauge. And that's how I get RPM. And now that I have RPM and I have speed, it can calculate what gear I'm in, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so beyond all of that, what it's also doing is it's broadcasting via Bluetooth. I'm talking about the EVCM here, is Bluetooth transferring data to this phone display, which is running an app called RoboRemo. And it's a great little app. It's great for little display purposes. Been using it forever. So let's go over what this display is. So this top bar is the battery current into VESC 1. The next bar down is battery current into VESC 2. The current number to the left is the combined current into both of those VESCs from the battery. The green bar is the battery voltage. The bar below that right now is, if I pull on the front brake, you're going to see it basically measures, it is not just the taillights on, it's measuring how hard I'm actually pulling on the brake from the ABS module. And I can do that with the front and the rear brake. The last three displays on the bottom is motor temperature, VESC 1 temperature, VESC 2 temperature, and the number to the left is the maximum temperature of those three. What I'm going to end up doing with the brake lever pull is that combined with speed, I will have the EVCM controlling the regen rate from the VESC controllers. And in fact, regen may not even be activated until I'm over 20 miles an hour. And what happens is the faster I go, all I got to do is lightly touch. The more I pull on this, the more it's going to regenerate. But if I want to just regenerate a little bit as I'm coasting down a hill, I can just touch on the brake, which isn't really going to stop the brake really, but it's going to be enough to recover some power. So, all right, so I'm going to spin it up right now. Keep an eye on the RPM, which is coming from the VESC and being transmitted by the EVCM. Miles per hour is being calculated by the EVCM and the rear wheel spinning. The bike is elevated right now. It's in first gear. You can see the power draw in amperage from the battery. I only got one battery on it right now, so we're going to see a sag in voltage. And here we go. So, ready? So that's All right, it's getting a bit long, so there it is.